I said, yo, it's about to go down.
Boom! What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another broadcast of Smashing Kidney Disease. I am your host, Steve Belcher. Thanks for joining me. And look, I hope everyone is having a safe quarantine. Whatever you're doing, I hope you're making it through this, with a sane mind and just being at peace with what's going on. With that being said, today's topic, man, a lot of kidney warriors deal with this. And if you don't deal with dialysis or you're not on hemodialysis, you wouldn't know unless maybe during the summertime if you had a cramp or a Charlie horse. But for many kidney patients, they go through cramps if it's any warriors that's watching this, and if you had cramps undergoing dialysis treatment in center, please chime in. Let people know that this is real. It can happen. So, what are muscle cramps? Right? Because some warriors get it and some don't. Some warriors never experience a muscle cramp during dialysis. And it just doesn't happen at dialysis. There's been reports from warriors that at night they woke up from their sleep with cramps. Or at home watching TV and the cramp just came out of nowhere. So look, muscle cramps are a common complication of hemodialysis treatments and are among the top 3. Let me repeat, among the top 3 physical symptoms prioritized by patients as needing attention. Now, let me repeat that one more time. Muscle cramps are a common complication of hemodialysis treatment and are among the top 3 physical symptoms prioritized by patients as needing attention. Muscle cramps often, now check this out, I've seen this. Muscle cramps often results in the early termination of a hemodialysis session and therefore a significant cause of underdialysis. How many warriors been on dialysis and you started cramping near maybe 30 minutes before the end of treatment and you said, take me off? How many? It happens somewhere near the end, 20 minutes, 15, maybe even 40 minutes before you end treatment, you start cramping so bad that you want them to take you off. And if that happens repeatedly, you'll be underdialyzed. Because if you're supposed to be 4-hour treatment and you start cramping at 3.5 and you tell them to take you off, right? And you do your monthly lab work. If you continue to do that over a period of time, the toxins can build up and you can have a low KT over V, which is the clearance of toxins in your blood. Remember, The goal is to get more treatment. Your kidneys work 24 hours a day in a healthy person, 7 days a week. And when that stops, you need to get dialysis. Now, 9 hours of treatment opposed to 30 hours of treatment is by far no comparison. I would go with the 30 hours of treatment, which would mean being at home. But if you're in the clinic and if you don't, let me just tell you this. If you just started dialysis and you've been doing it 2 months, 3 months, you may not even know any better. And that's not your fault. It's the lack of education in the facilities. But look, you say maybe like two months in the treatment, and all of a sudden you get these cramps. No one told you about them. It's in the consent form that it can happen, but you didn't look at the consent form to know that cramping is a side effect or a complication of hemodialysis. So all of a sudden, you never cramped, and then 2 months into treatment, these cramps come out of nowhere because maybe you had a little bit more fluid than usual. But no one told you. And so as a result of that, you start getting off the machine early. And as a result of getting off the machine early, it's like a snowball effect. You cramp because you drunk too much. No one educated you on the amount of fluid to drink, right? As a result of that, they poured all this fluid off. You start cramping, right? You get off early. You continue to do that. And then when you do your monthly labs, you fall under, you don't make your clearance. So let me say this. We're going to get just a little bit into just a teeny bit into science. Not much, just skimming. The exact etiology, and all etiology is the cause. The exact cause of cramps in dialysis patients is really unknown. It's unknown. Since cramps tend to occur most frequently near the end of hemodialysis treatment, changes in, here go the science now, and I'm not going to delve into this, so you can just look it up on Google it. But here go the science. Changes in plasma osmolarity and or extracellular fluid volume have been implicated. And basically, all that is to break it down, is the shift of fluid from one part of the tissue to the other. Now, let's get into the meat and bones of this. Again, if you're a kidney warrior, you're new to this. If you spent time in the dialysis unit, I know you heard someone scream like, ouch, ouch, ah, damn, ah, standing up on the machine, holding their leg. You know, I'm sure you've seen that. And you looking over, you on the machine, you looking over the corner like where's that coming from? You never heard it before. Someone screaming at the top of their lungs because they have a muscle cramp. I mean, you looking around, you like nervous yourself, like what the hell is going on? And then you don't realize or experience until it hit you. You're like, whoa, God, oh, it hit you in the back, in the side, in the stomach, up under the diaphragm. I suspect anyone who has cramped during a dialysis treatment would tell you that these cramps are painful, occur quite suddenly, and are absolutely no fun. Now let's break it down again. A cramp is a prolonged, involuntary muscle contraction, because when you cramp, your muscle is contracting. That occurs in a muscle that voluntarily contracts when it is already in its most shortened position. That's that science talk. Basically, a cramp is a muscle spasm. And it usually occurs in the calf of the lower leg, where muscles are larger. Other areas where cramps can occur include the hands, your feet, chest, and abdomen. How many warriors? Come on, guys, give me a thumbs up. If you're watching this feed, all 7 of you, if you do in-center hemodialysis, please share that experience, share this broadcast. It's more than 700,000 people on dialysis. I know someone cramped. I've seen it myself. So I know I don't have to get validation from the people watching this show. As a practicing nurse, I've treated patients who had cramped and who have done or acted how I acted out a person experience. So that's why I can sit there and it's like, ow, 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 because I've seen patients get out the chair like that. I witnessed it. Again, what causes cramps? Surprisingly, again, the exact cause of the cramping that occurs during dialysis is not known. It's not known. Certain situations, however, make the possibility of cramping more likely. Now, let me repeat that. You got to look and read between the lines in these words. Surprisingly, the exact etiology or cause of the cramping that occurs during dialysis is not known. Certain situations, the situation, however, make the possibility of cramping more likely. Now, check this out if you're on dialysis. Cramps tend to occur, again, cramps tend to occur when dialysis patients are 1, below their target weight, or are hypotensive, or their blood pressure, that means their blood pressure is low. When does this occur? The cramping. Most warriors would tell you cramping is more common close to the end of dialysis treatment. This is when the person is the driest and most likely to have a low blood pressure. How many warriors have cramped on dialysis near the end of treatment and their blood pressure dropped? I just saw a lady today said for the first time she experienced her blood pressure dropping, and when she woke up, people were around her. She's seen other people go through it, but this was the first time she experienced it. So, and let me tell you about when cramping occurs and when a person is at the driest and most likely to have a low blood pressure and cramp. When you're below your dry or target weight, this is what you're going to see: low blood pressure, lightheadedness, and cramping. Again, if you're 55.5 kilograms and all of a sudden you stop, you lose your appetite a little bit, now you're coming in at 54 and you're still trying to take off 2 and 3 liters, you better bet you're going to experience low blood pressure, lightheadedness, and cramping. And you may even pass out. When you're above your dry weight, so if you're 55.5 and now you come into dialysis at 58.9 or 59, you would expect to see an elevated blood pressure, swelling in your face, maybe orbital, where on your eyes, your feet, your ankles may be puffy, and you may experience shortness of breath. Or as us nurses call it, are you experiencing any SOB? However, when you're at your dry weight, you would expect to see a normal blood pressure, no swelling in the hands or feet, and no shortness of breath or fluid in the lungs. You have warriors who always maintain their dry weight. It can be done. You can feel better during dialysis and off of dialysis. So let us give you some tips to help prevent you cramping during treatment. To help limit the amount of fluid removed each treatment, drinking less fluid and eating less salt between treatment is key. That's the key. It's no secret. No secret at all. To help limit the amount of fluid removed each dialysis treatment, drinking less fluid and eating less salt between treatments is key. If you're in, I posted a post that asked warriors how much fluid have they gained between treatments. And you've seen warriors who 1 or 2. The recommendations is between 1 and 3 liters between treatment. Anything over that, especially if you're a small person, small frame person, you may experience symptoms as shortness of breath, edema or fluid in your feet, your hands, your belly. So here's some tips to help prevent going below your target weight during treatment. Weigh consistently. I encourage you to get a scale and bring it home. Weigh with a similar amount of extra weight each day. IG, no coat, purse, books, or magazines. When you go to the dialysis unit, take everything out of your pocket. And I suggest, if you come in during the winter time, if you got boots on like Timberlands, I encourage you to weigh them separately so you can see how much those boots weigh if you tend to weigh with them on, so you can subtract that weight. But if you tend to take your shoes off and weigh on that scale, make sure you put one of those blue chuck pads that they put under your arm before they initiate treatment, so you could put your feet on that instead of that dirty scale. Remember, guys, I seen warriors in dialysis during the summertime with flip-flops on, taking the flip-flops on and walking from the dialysis chair on that dirty floor to the scale. Come on now. You cannot walk it. Dialysis clinics and hospital are a haven for germs. Give the PCT the correct pre-dialysis weight. Sounds easy, but it's also easy to get distracted and forget the number. Many persons find it helpful to write their exact weight on a slip of paper while still standing at the scale. If your scale has a printout, take that paper with you. Let me tell you something. That is true. I've worked with kidney warriors where we didn't have a printout, and they weighed, and they had to walk a little ways to their chair, right? But on the way, they'd be talking to other warriors and the staff. And then when they get to their chair and they sit down, and then I start to do my assessment, right? I say, what was your weight? I say, what was your weight? You know, I'm ready to write it down. I'm standing up at the dialysis machine, right? You know, putting the temperature in their mouth, getting the blood pressure, pushing the blood pressure on the machine, and they got the temperature in their mouth, right? And I'm like, Miss Johnson, what was your weight? Wait a minute. 58.1, 58.2. Was it 50? Wait a minute, Steve. Take the blood pressure cup off, get up and walk back down and re-weigh, thus, wasting time. I mean, it's all good. I wasn't mad, but I'm just saying that to prove a point that you really got to be on this. Even maybe carrying a pencil, right? If your center doesn't have a printout on their scale, maybe carry a pencil and maybe some paper and keep a log for yourself. Yeah, keep a log of your pre-weight, what you came in at and what you left out at, and then what you came in the next time, right? Then you can see your average. You can start getting the average of how much weight you gain between treatments. I mean, that's if you're interested in that. That what makes a person healthy, mindful, and not be fluid overload, landed in the hospital because they fluid overload. This, man, I'm serious. This is no game, and no facilities are doing any education right now, especially with this COVID-19. And that's why we're doing it right here on Urban Health Outreach Media. I mean, you may know your target weight and have it in control, but I know there's a lot of warriors who don't think about this because they leave it in the hands of the technician, of the staff, expecting that they are going to, pretty much help them out. But at some point, one has to be in control of their own health care. That's where that health literacy comes in. Go check out the Urban Health Nurse Educator on YouTube. I did a show on health literacy. A lot of people don't understand what's going on with their treatment, but won't say nothing. And it's okay. That's why we're here. So if you don't know, and if you don't feel comfortable asking the clinic, you can come and check out our shows or go to our Urban Health Outreach Media YouTube page or Facebook page and go into the videos and look under the archives. There's plenty of shows on how to look after your treatment, being mindful of your machine and everything else that goes on in the dialysis clinic. Also, know what your prescribed target weight is. I've seen a lot of warriors. I asked them, what's your target weight? I may go to a unit, PRN, work at another place, and I ask the person, what's your dry weight? Or say, is your dry weight 58.5 or something like that? And they may say, I believe so, I guess. I don't know if they just saying that to, because I'm new, new nurse at the unit, or they really don't know. And now listen, know your prescribed target weight and how much weight needs to be removed to get to that weight. Plain and simple. Review these numbers with the tech. Make sure they know. Let me tell you something. If you're supposed to take off 2,500, I'm just saying, this is where you got to be mindful. Now, if any warriors experience what I'm about to say, please give me a thumbs up or say, yeah. I know this happened because as a charge nurse, I had to go around and look at each machine and make sure everything was set correctly. But how many warriors came in, you gave the PCT or nurse your weight and said, I want to take off 2,500. And they put in 250. Instead of 2,500, 2,500, they put in 250. Those are two different numbers. 250 cc's, right, is way less than 2,500 cc's. And how many people experience, they may not tell you they made the mistake. They may blame the machine. You may get off dialysis and you were supposed to take off 2,500 and you took off less than a kilo. Have you experienced that? Because as a charge nurse, I've seen PCTs make mistakes. Instead of putting 2,500, they put 250. And they were on break. And I'll go to the break room and ask them to come here. And ask them, did you mean to put in 2,500 or 250? Because by that time, I done already looked at what they came in at and what their dry weight was. So I knew the answer. Oh, and then they come out of the break room. This is exactly how it is. This is one of my experience. Knock on the door. No, I open the door, right? Person sitting down. Hey, I need to talk to you. Shit, Steve, I'm eating. Can it wait till after break? No, I need to talk to you at the machine for a minute. Damn. Walk out the door, slam the door. Right? Okay. We need to talk about this. Come out to the floor, putting on their lab coat and shit, all big and bad. like that's supposed to scare me, right? All big and bad. And come to the machine. I say, but of course, I don't do it in front of the patients, right? Because that's not professional. But what I do, I look at it, go over the numbers like, what's going on here? Did you mean to do this or that? I meant to put in 2,500. I got caught up with Mrs. So-and-so with her access that I was rushing and I forgot to put in 2,500. Thanks, Steve. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. Now you want to apologize. You're all big and bad coming out the break room, snapping your lab coat up, and and then when I point out your faults, because remember, to err is human. No one is perfect. So again, the point of that story or the moral of that story is, absolutely, Lena, absolutely, they blame the machine. The moral of that story, be your own advocate. Know how much fluid you're taking off. Know what your dry weight is, right? Keep mind of that. If your dry weight is 55.5 and you come in 56.5, that means you take off 1 liter plus 0.5 or whatever that unit adds in for the prime and rinse back. And what the prime is, when you see your machine set up with the dialyzer running, and before you get on the machine, all the fluid that's in these lines, right? All the saline that's in the lines that you get when they initiate treatment is counted as fluid going in. And also when you're coming off, the fluid they use to rinse back your blood is fluid going in. As nurses, or in nurses, we call it INO. Input, output. So that fluid that they use when you go on, that's in those lines, when your blood is initiated, when treatment is initiated, your blood is going through the lines, and you see that blood going through your needles, right? You see that clear fluid going into your arm when they start treatment, and the blood is pumping through the blood pump. That fluid is going in you. We have to account for that fluid going in you in the beginning and at the end. When we return your blood, we had to add that into your goal so we can pull it back off. Most places use a standard number, 500 cc's. So what that means, if your dry weight is 55.5 and you come in 56.5, that's 1 liter plus 500 would be 1,500 you pull off, so you can net 1 liter. That 500 is the prime and rinse back. If you wanted to take off 2 liter net, it would be 2,500. Whatever you want to take off, make sure you add 500 to that goal, because that's the fluid going in pre and after dialysis. You want to take it back out. If not, you'll leave with that fluid on, that extra fluid on. This is a biggie. This is a biggie, what I'm about to say. And this is why you have to be involved in your treatment. If you think your target weight may have changed, talk with your dialysis team. I've seen some people leave that in the hands of the techs. They don't care. They just say, this was my weight, that's it. And you got to be involved in that. You may get a technician who just finished training and may not know jack. They may have you going out more than what you came in at. I seen it. So this is the type of stuff you got to be aware of. Yes, the coronavirus is here, but damn that. Be prepared for that and treat it like another virus. But this is the everyday stuff that you got to worry about. People putting you on dialysis and taking off the right amount of fluid so you don't cramp. Ask people who do home dialysis. They don't cramp. If they do, very few. Very few. But they're not taking off a large amount of fluid in a short period of time. That's right, Cynthia. And thank you for joining the broadcast. Janice, Starling, I'm going to acknowledge y'all after this, but thank you. And I ask you to continue to watch Urban Health Outreach Media, like our Facebook page, our YouTube channel. We're doing this basically 5 days a week. And you're right, only you know your body. No one else. Cynthia's right. Only you know your body. And that's why you have to be mindful. I'm not saying it directly like you do this, but one has to be really involved in their care when they're dealing with dialysis. Now, I've been doing dialysis as a nurse 33 years, and I've seen the change, the shift. And a lot of times, and let me just say this before I get into how cramping is treated. When I started dialysis, and no disrespect, but I'm sure maybe a lot of people watching the feed, if you're doing dialysis, I'm not sure if you've been on it longer than 33 years. I'm sure some have. But back in the 80s, 1985 is when I started. Maybe a lot of warriors may have been kids back then and not even heard of kidney dialysis in 1985. But I was 21 years old when I started in this field, and it happened by humble. It really happened by humble. But back then, once you put a patient on, but first, what had to happen, right? When I started, after I finished the training, well, let me back up. I didn't finish training in Texas. I finished in Bethesda, Maryland. But in Texas at that time, techs had to wait 6 months after training before they put the needle in. So what would happen would be you come in, I'm a new tech, say my first month, you come in, I get your weight, you sit down, I get your blood pressure, temperature, get everything prepped up, wipe your arm down, everything. And then I'll call for a sticker. I'll say, I need a sticker. And then somebody would roll around on the stool and put the needles in, right? And then I would connect you to the dialysis machine. And when I started, I was on this because I had just got out the military doing infantry stuff. But I was on this, man, with my books, training. I was really involved in it. But so at that time, you were able to sit down, talk with patients, really, really get to know them and understand what they were going through, emphasize with them, and teach. But now, 21st century, only thing they want is those machines spinning, right? And the technicians are so overworked, 14, 15 hours a day, they ain't got time to sit down by nobody's chair and talk about cramping and give you this information, devote 45 minutes telling you information that can pretty much have you maintain a good quality of life. They don't. Yes, Lena, like a robot. So that's why we're here. I think that's why God planted me here. Honestly, I would be lying if I didn't tell you throughout the 33 years, there were at many times during the way that I wanted to quit. And I have. I went into other parts of nursing. I've been a supervisor. I managed 3 nursing home units, dialysis units. I worked in disease management. It's like a love-hate. But you see where I'm at today. And you would think I would get out of this after being injured on the job and be bitter and take all that knowledge and just say, forget about it and do something else and try to make some money something else. I'm not making a dime doing this. I'm not even working. You would think, somebody who puts all his energy into something, unemployed, doesn't get any unemployment, no type of income, and I'm just kind of taking it one day at a time. So yes, I know God put me here for a reason. So cramping can be often prevented if these tips are followed. If you're a warrior, I'm telling you, if you follow these tips, you are less likely. I'm not going to say it can't happen because it's a possibility. And you know why that possibility? Because a tech may make a mistake. The tech may make a mistake. It may not even be your fault. You may say, set me for 2,500, and they set you for 250. And at the end, you go to the scale, you get up, treatment's over, you get up. You come back, you hand away, and you're like, hey, Butch, I only took off my weight. I came in at 56.5, and I'm leaving out at 56.3. What the hell happened? It's Friday. I didn't even get down to my dry weight. I'm leaving out 1.5 over. Now I got to worry about the weekend. I'm freaking pissed. How many people went through that? You gave them a weight on Friday, expecting to take off a certain amount, and you took off way less than the amount that you expected to take off. How many people experience that? I've seen it all the time in my career. And then, guess what? Guess who they coming to? The charge nurse. I'm the one that got to freaking explain for the damn technician because they effed up. What do I tell that patient? What do I tell that patient? Oh, they made a mistake. Because that's what happened. But you try to clean it up. When that started happening, I don't get myself in the middle of that. I hold the freaking technician accountable. I go back, I'll look at the math or see how much they took off at the machine. And if it says whatever, I'm going to pull them up. Shit, that could happen to my mom if she was on dialysis. Or my dad. So now the patient got to come in for an extra treatment. They got to come. Oh, now I got to offer them. Now let me, like, damn, already got other things on my mind. I'm the charge nurse. I got 30 other patients. I'm busy doing this, and this. I'm passing meds, hanging antibiotics, making appointments to the access center. Now I got to figure out if it's a chair opening tomorrow to bring somebody in to pull off fluid that a damn technician didn't pull off. I ain't mean to say it like technician, because it can happen to a nurse as well. But the majority of people that I supervised were technicians. So again, the moral of this story, please be your own advocate in the unit and be mindful with your weight, your dry weight. Know what your dry weight is and how you feel. At that, be mindful of that. Know when you give them the weight you want to take off, make sure they program it in that machine correct. Have them turn the machine around so you can see the numbers. Have them turn it around. Usually the screen has how much you're pulling off, the temperature, your blood pressure, blood flow rate, your dialysate flow rate, and some other numbers. Your conductivity, temperature of the bath. The machine. So, if a cramp occurs, this is how it's treated. There are several treatment options. If a cramp occurs because a person is too dry, saline is the treatment of choice. Now, let me just explain something right there, because in my career, I've seen this happen. And when I administer the saline, the patient would say, "Don't give me too much saline. Don't give me too much saline." But how I'm going to resolve the problem? So if you find yourself below your dry weight and you start cramping and the technician is giving you fluid, don't tell them, stop them at a certain point. Get as much as it's going to cost, that's going to alleviate that cramp, because that fluid may bring you back to your dry weight. You're not going to go out puffy, but you want to infuse back into those muscle tissues that sodium chloride, as it's called, the normal saline, because it has salt in it. It has salt in that. It's 0.9% sodium chloride. So if you're on dialysis, if a cramp occurs because you're below your dry weight, saline is the treatment of choice. To prevent additional fluid loss, have them turn off your ultrafiltration, or you may hear UF, on the dialysis machine. Tell them to lower it. 2, if the cramp is in the leg, where a lot of warriors get cramps during dialysis, pushing against the foot can help. Right? I know with a lot of the chairs, dialysis chairs, you can pull that footstool from under the chair and sit up in the chair and place your foot down and press on it. Some warriors get in the chair and place it on that part of the chair that folds up where you can put your calves on. That part that dips in, you can put your foot and press it on that. Or what we used to do is get a clipboard. Some chairs, if they don't have none of that, I used to go up against warriors and stand up and have my clipboard and have them press their feet up against the clipboard, both of them, and hold it real tight and help them out. But and what happens when you pressing the foot down on the leg, on the footrest, is that this stretches the calf muscle, because you remember it contracts when you're cramping. So when you stretching and pushing, you're stretching the muscle, and it may relax the muscle spasm. Now, standing up can also help stretch this muscle, but that's not recommended, especially when dialyzing, because we all know if you stand up doing dialysis, and if you got you're below your dry weight, this can lead to a large drop in blood pressure, leading to dizziness and falls. I've seen it happen. Patients didn't know because of the lack of education. One day they started cramping for the first time. No technician or staff around. Nobody around, right? Person start cramping. He stands up, right? Next way we know, we hear all these people yelling, hey, 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 hey. We like, what's going on? We run back. Patient sit in the back of the chair like this. Tongue out and everything. Right? Come on. So this is why we are so staunch advocates about knowing what goes on in your treatment. We're the technicians. Let me just share this. Technically, by state regulations, right? Technicians are supposed to be in the area so they can see their patients. So what that means, if I have 3 patients and they write, and my 3 machines are right here in front of me, I should be in the stool right here or somewhere in the area on the stool watching my patients, right? Nowadays, go into a DaVita. Yes, I said it. Go into a DaVita or Fresenius or a US Renal or heck, any clinic and see where the staff is sitting. Some places they may be sitting near you and watching you. In other places, everybody may be at the charge nurses station, sitting at a desk, talking amongst themselves, right? No one's watching you. Your machine going off. You looking around. Where everybody at? And you try to reset the machine yourself, but you can't reach it. So, cramping during dialysis. I repeat, if you're on dialysis, if you don't hear anything else I said tonight, just know this. Cramping during dialysis should never, and I mean never, be considered normal. It should never be considered normal or inevitable. You should never have to fear going to dialysis because you're going to cramp. I've seen that happen. And let me repeat that. Cramping during dialysis should never be considered normal or inevitable. Knowing the possible causes and working together and being your own health advocate, that's the number one thing before you work with others. Being your own advocate can limit these occurrences. What that means, if you work with these people, if you know what you got, right? You know the math. You know how much you're supposed to be taking off. Be involved. Make sure the technicians are putting it on the screen and programming it right. You can't fall asleep on this. I know a lot of warriors are friends with the staff. And yes, staff are nice. They right there for you. But staff make mistakes. Staff make mistakes. And you just know them from the unit. You don't know them outside the unit unless you hang out with them outside the unit. But that would be unprofessional. Because if you go to your doctor's office, would you hang out with your doctor's staff after hours? Call them on the phone? I've seen staff borrow money from patients. So you really have to look out for yourself, regardless of what type of relationship you may feel that you have with the technician or the nurses at that unit. Just remember they work for the dialysis unit at the end of the day. Just remember that. I'm not trying to cause any friction and lost friendships or anything like that, but at the end of the day, they work for the company. And at the end of the day, your life is what matters. Your life is what matters because 9 times out of 10, you didn't know these people before you came to the unit. And you just know them from that. You don't know them outside the unit. Your perception of these staff members are what you see in the unit. Just like me. The perception you see of me. It's not like we hang out every day and you're with me day in and day out. But what I'm saying is, even with this information that I tell you, You look it up, do your own research. This is not to intend to treat, diagnose, or be a substitute for what you going through or whatever. But what I'm saying, based on my 33-year career in dialysis, 10 as a technician and 23 as a nurse, I'm giving you information based on what I experienced and also information which is evidence-based that I collected over the years, over a 33-year span. Many people wouldn't see information like this. This is what I'm teaching from. You see that? You see that? When you below your target weight, you would expect to see low blood pressure, lightheadedness, and cramping. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm not, I swear. Hey, James, thank you for joining. Love you, man. Thank you so much. God bless you for watching. But I'm not making this stuff up. This is not scripted. I'm giving you education with a mixture of my experience as an acute dialysis nurse, an in-center hemodialysis nurse, and as a regional nurse manager. So I've seen it all when it comes to this. And again, the COVID-19, yes, many people are passing away. God bless their soul and whatever's happening with this. But if you're watching this program, you're still alive. And if your day or your weeks or things kind of been going the same, but you just been stuck in the house, no change or no different, then pretty much it's probably going to be like that. And yes, when they start hopefully slowly opening back up the economy, and maybe we will, maybe we won't go back to what life was before this. Me personally, I don't think so, but that's just my opinion. However, once all this kind of settles down and other new stuff start taking a hold and the COVID-19 kind of starts moving to the back, but we know it's there, you're still going to have cramping. You're still going to deal with other stuff on dialysis. That life doesn't stop unless you get a transplant. So that's why you have to be mindful of your health. Because if you're doing dialysis and you're not on the transplant list, right? You had dialysis yesterday, then you're going to have dialysis tomorrow. It's 3 days a week. So this stuff you got to know so you can make the best and have the best quality of life in spite of dealing with dialysis. And the only way to do that is know what the technicians and the nurses know. And that's what we try to disseminate through our broadcast. So you will know. Yes. Many, and let me just put, gentlemen, Mr. James Fabian, kidney health coach, kidney disease, mentor. If you even dealing in any of the stages from 1 to 5, well, 1 to 4, it may be 1 to 5, depending on how far 5 you're at, or if you got family members. DIALYSIS TV, what I have on the screen. I mean, he has any type of episode you may think of about kidney disease, and he's a kidney warrior himself that went from a GFR, which is glomerular filtration rate, which measure the functioning of how your kidney is working. 8 is considered in around stage 5. Could be a little bit lower, but 8 is almost at the breaking point of going on dialysis. He turned it from 8 to 33. Just through lifestyle change and diet. How many people you know who were at 8 and the doctor would have said, we're ready to institute and start dialysis? They would have convinced you. Maybe you would have felt a little bad, right? And you go to the doctors and it's like, oh, it's time to start dialysis, instead of like trying to turn this around to see maybe if you do some changes here and there, maybe your numbers can start to climb. Yes, Cynthia. So check out DIALYSIS TV if you're in one of the stages of kidney disease, even if you are on dialysis, because he does have some great information on there. I'm telling you, he got some good information, because over a period of maybe a couple of days, I seen this YouTube channel go from 58.5 thousand subscribers to now he's at 61,000. So he got some great information over there. Really does. And thank you for chiming in. So again, guys, cramping during dialysis should never be considered normal or inevitable. Knowing the possible causes and working together with your dialysis team can limit their occurrence. Again, you can limit it, but the person who's working with you, they're human. And so that's why you got to watch what they're doing. It's almost like micromanaging your treatment. Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you draw my blood? Did you give me my heparin? Is my blood flow rate at 350? Is my temperature set? You got to micromanage your treatment. So with that being said, I'm going to go through my comments. Hey, Cynthia P., thank you for watching the show. God bless you. Thank you so much for interacting with such great dialogue. Me, I have an unnecessary access in. Now that's collapsed twice, and they were about to start me again this month. My numbers were up because of stress. Oh, so you haven't even started. God bless you. Yes. Thank you, Miss Janice, for watching. That's a new one on me. You had to be the CEO of your body. Absolutely. And please, I encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube page, Urban Health Outreach Media, and Facebook. Thank you, Miss Janice, and thank you for watching the show. Cynthia chimed in again. If you are still urinating and only need your blood clean to do, you still have to go 3 days anyway. I guess that's what you were going to say, or away. Miss Lena, God bless you. Thank you for watching. Yep. Hey, Jared, the host of Warriors Quest. Check him out tomorrow. He's going to have Jeremy Peruco on. I believe so, right? You're going to have Jeremy on. But thank you, Jared, for watching. Miss Cynthia, thank you. Yep, Experience is a great teacher. James, thanks for watching. Miss Lena, God bless you again. Absolutely. Miss Cynthia, thank you. I'm just trying to play my part. I'm just trying to play my part and stay busy, Miss Cynthia. But thank you for tuning in, and please share our broadcast and help us get the information out there if you can. Jared, yes. Yep. You got to keep it professional. James, no, I'm not sure what you on that. He said you've been in that chair. No, but I seen it. I seen it, and it's just unbelievable. What God has blessed me, just some abilities to be able to remember key occurrences in my career, just different things that I could bring to light that can possibly highlight a certain point. Yeah, Miss Darlene, thank you for watching. God bless you. It's my first time seeing your name, but thank you for watching. Yep, I will yell as loud as I can for a tech. Yep, hey, God bless you. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Urban Health Outreach Media, and Facebook. You're right about that. I got straight up. Yep, no one around. The other patients were, yeah. See, I knew someone. I knew it. That's a shame that has to happen. I always want to stand and sit down like a noodle. I do all the time. Man, I love y'all guys. Thank you for chiming in. The pain is nothing like a bass. Yep, you're right about that. You're right about that. It's like a different one. Yep, they will. They will. You got to be, because, man, I want to have to go over the patient's rights and responsibilities. I got a list from where I used to work that comes along in your admission packet, and you have a right to participate in your care, and even if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. That's your right. Miss Janice said, I learned how to set my own weight on the machine. I also had my tech. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, you can do it. I even suggest putting your own needles in, going, not you, Miss Janice, but anybody else who want to be involved in their treatment. You can't always leave it to the staff unless you have to. Now, if your health puts you in a position where you can't do that, I understand. However, that's where the healthcare agent comes in. You find someone who can advocate for you, even on dialysis. I swear, I don't know, when this corona thing is so-called over, I want to try to figure something out to be a dialysis healthcare agent or something like that, nurse agent, to where I can, assist or help people who can't help themselves, advocate for themselves when it comes to dialysis. Because there's really a lot, especially when you go to dialysis in the beginning. You have a parent or someone starts and you got to go to outpatient, and they hand you that thick packet, that consent. I could be right there with you. I'm not saying that now, but I may create something where if you're in the DC area or whatever, I could be right there with you the first day and explain step by step if you don't understand. Right there with you. Walk you through every step. Did they get your weight? Did they get your temperature? Let me see your treatment orders. Yes, this is right. Okay. You're right. Okay, your blood flow rate 350, dialysate flow rate 600. You on 16 gauge needles. You're 3.5 hours. You get 4,000 heparin. Oh, you get 2,000 units of epogen. You get 4 mics of Zemplar. Oh, and the doctor has an order for you to get a gram of vancomycin. You may not know all that, but if you had a dialysis nurse agent with you, such as myself, you would know. That's if you would be interested in something like that. Darlene says, that's why I asked in the middle of treatment how much I have taken off so far. That way I know if I'm close to my goal. Darlene, where are you at? We got to do a show with you. Yes. Let me see. Yep, you come in tomorrow, and I always say no, but I know. Like you don't have nothing else to do on your day off for dialysis because of their mistake. Miss Cynthia says she have to come in on Saturday. Shake my head. A lot of time that happens because somebody may have made a mistake. Not all the time, but the majority. Yep, Miss Lena, they act like they don't know what's going on. Yep. I'm going to go through all these comments because I appreciate y'all guys watching. And I want your comments to be seen on screen so people know what is going on. Thank you, Miss Cynthia. I try to play my part. I swear I do. I'm not perfect by no stretch of the imagination. I have my weaknesses and my faults, my anxieties, and I'm just trying to stand on the word of God one day at a time. Most of them want to go talk about, smoke a cig or bit. Yes, exactly. They had to start leaving their cells in their lockers. Yep. And you probably seen there's no cell phone on the floor, but you may see some nurses, they got them side pockets on them cargo pants and they slip the phone down in there, or they may go to the corner. You walk into your machine, right? It's doing changeover. You walk into your machine or something and you see the nurse with their cell phone right on the corner like this, right? Standing up. I'll be right with you. I got the earpiece in, right? And got their phone somewhere else and got the blue piece on talking, and you think they talking to you, but they say, no, I'm talking on the phone. You ever experienced that? Sitting in the chair and they at the machine doing something and they got these earpieces in and you're like, okay, and they talking, right? And you looking up at them thinking they talking to you, and they looking at the machine and they talking, you looking up, and then next you talking to me? And they point to their earpiece, like, you kidding me? You're about to start my treatment and you on the phone? Has anybody witnessed that or experienced it? I'm getting a little bit too excited, spit flying out my mouth. All right, it's like a robot. Because I'm telling you, I experience everything that I'm saying. That's why I'm saying it. It's all about the money now. You're right. Hoorah. You're right. You must have been in the military. Yep. I was a 19 Delta Cavalry Scout. Didn't do no medical in the military, right? This is how God blessed me. I was a scout. I was in the military during the East-West German border when that was up, right? Had that experience as an 18-year-old to be on the East-West German border. A black kid from Washington, D.C. on the East-West German border, guarding it. Who would have imagined going from that to being a master prepared nurse? It's only but God. I mean, again, I share 9th grade, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, bullied, all F's, barely passed the 12th grade. So I know this is only but the grace of God. I never had no nursing experience in my life or thought I'd be around blood or helping people, because I've always been selfish. I've been selfish. I won't hide that. No, again, no one's perfect. I've had my addictions and everything else that you want to talk about. Do you think it matters to me what I share now or what people may think about me or worried about? I done been through the worst. But the whole point of just saying all this, right, is that I wouldn't have never imagined in my wildest dreams of being here, educating people with chronic kidney disease on dialysis about cramps, what it is, and how it can be prevented. When you have these multi-million-dollar dialysis treatment centers that are mandated by Medicare to get reimbursed to do these type of educations. Are they getting done? I don't know. I don't work in a dialysis unit no more. But when I did, as of January 2019, we were handing, if it was something, education, here you go. If the patient sleep, put it on the table. Some patients get up, ball it up, and throw it in the trash. So how is the education supposed to be given? That's why I'm here. That's why God placed me here. I would have never thought when I started dialysis in 1985, being here doing some education broadcast. I would have never imagined that. Never. So it only has to be God, because I didn't plan this course. I didn't ask for this back then. I wanted to live in a big house, be somewhere, but that didn't happen for me. It didn't happen for me. So with that being said, thank you for watching Smashing Kidney Disease on Urban Health Outreach Media. We really, really, really thank you for watching our shows. We know that you could be watching anything else. You know, we know that. So we just going to keep giving you the information. We just need you to keep coming back, getting it. It's going to be information that you can use. Anything that's broadcast on here, you will be able to use it in some form or another. But if it's not for you, then share for someone else who may be able to use it. That's all we ask. So again, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Urban Health Outreach Media. We definitely need your support. Please share this broadcast if you can. You never see, let me just share this too. I could put that up there, but you never see that up there. So I just want to get something straight. Let me just share something right quick, okay? Let me share something right quick with our audience and supporters. A while back, I said I would never bring this up and bury it, but it kind of reared its ugly head, and some warriors may see something, some not. But a while back, we had a warrior on our show named June Kaufman, and show was a great show. However, in that following week, we had another show where Miss Kaufman made some disparaging racial remarks that was inadvertently plastered on the screen. We had banned her from our shows and our pages. As a result of that, Mrs. Kaufman has been going around spreading false accusations on Urban Kidney Alliance, including myself and the Brown brothers, saying that we are, once we get people to come on the show, that we're asking them for donations and money. And if you've been on this show, you know doggone well that we never called you after the show was over. No one from the Lisa Baxter Show or Kidney Stories 2 or Warriors Quest or Urban Reno Talk with Tamika and Steve ever, or World Kidney News, called you if you were a guest and solicited money. So if you see anything out there like that, unfortunately, Ms. Kaufman suffers from mental illness, so had to excuse her. We continue to keep her in our prayers, but anything that you may read or see from Ms. Kaufman talking about Urban Health Outreach Media, Urban Kidney Alliance, the Brown Brothers production team, or myself, they are false. We got 2 more comments. I'm going to call it a night. Oh, man. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, bro. God bless you. You're amazing, man. Love you like a brother. And it's definitely a pleasure that I met you and you're part of the Urban Kidney Alliance management team. Yeah, God bless you too, man. So, guys, again, thank you for the night. Tune in for Warriors Quest with Jared Brown tomorrow. It's going to be off the chain. It's going to be a different type of show. He got something planned. We're going to see what it is. And again, tomorrow night, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys for watching. Again, this show was cramps, what it is, and how it could be prevented. God bless you. Take care. And again, stay blessed and encouraged, guys. Peace.
Yo, it's about to go down. I said, yo, it's about to go down.